Duarte Unified School District. Welcome all of you who are attending today. This is sort of a chance for us to answer any questions and sort of share some information you probably already have with regards to your student enrolling in our grades 6 through 8, our CSArts Duarte hybrid program for the next school year. So first of all, congratulations. Thrilled that you have decided that you want to have your child join us. It's a great program, and we're real proud of where we are with our students this year, especially with us inviting our sixth graders in. On the call today, I'm looking at the names, and I do see my colleague, Dr. Cook, as well as I think Dr. Enrollment from CSArts. Dr. Cook, if you're there, you want to open up your mic and say hello?
Hello, I'm in my screen. I'm right next to you.
Thank you for being here. And then we will also have some other folks from Duarte here on the call coming in a bit, including, you'll see the name up here is Ms. Nayla Offman. She's our Director of Student Services. Her department is the department that manages the permit process for inter-district permits. And then at some point, we should also be having our principals from the two schools joining us as well. But I'm going to get started now in the interest of time. We have just about an hour left here. I want to make sure that if you have questions, I will do my very best managing the chat, but I will probably go through everything at first here and kind of go through the information. I would like to say, first of all, that what you're going to hear today is pretty much what you probably already know from our checklist that was sent out with your letter that came from CSArts. First of all, congratulations and welcome for the 2024-25 school year. Our hybrid combined program with between the Duarte Unified School District and the California School of the Arts, San Gabriel Valley. And so the steps in the checklist that you will have probably already received this is sort of a summary of that. As a reminder, just August 14th is our first day of academic class. So this is the information of where your student would be assigned, what school they would go to for their academic classes, as well as where their conservatory classes would happen every single day. If they are in the School of Dance or the School of Music, they would be transported daily from Maxwell at the end of their academic classes over to the CSArts campus. So that's just something to know ahead of time, that's not something you have to worry about. If your student is in the School of Dance or the School of Music, they would start their day every day at Maxwell for their academic classes, and they would end their day at the CSArts campus. And then the School of Fine Arts and Media Arts, those students who are in the creative writing, integrated arts, visual arts would start their day at Royal Oaks and end their day at Royal Oaks, because both their academic classes and the conservatory classes that are taught by the CSArts faculty will occur on the Royal Oaks campus. And then those are the students who are in the School of Theater, it includes acting, musical theater, production design, would start their day at Maxwell for all their academics, and then finish up at Maxwell, where the faculty from CSArts will go to teach the conservatory classes. On to the next slide. I might go through some slides and then we'll kind of open it up for questions, if that's okay. The locations in the two schools are here, and the contact folks are here as well. The principals are, I'm just checking to see. I know they were both in several meetings this afternoon, and we're going to try to jump on the call to be here as well. But these are your principals for most of your day, of course. But
you got to find it. Just go.
Go ahead and take a minute here and make sure we're all muted. I see Dr. Tamanaha is here, or she was here a second ago.
I'm here. Good evening. Good evening, parents. It's nice to meet you. I'm the principal at Royal Oaks STEAM Academy.
Thank you. And then Dr. Kelly Lawson, I was at her school most of the day today, and I know she was in a meeting, so I'm hoping she can jump on when she finishes. But I know she also wanted to welcome you as well. So here's where we're at.
Come on, let's go.
I kind of put this.
嘴巴上全是那个，你 go wash your mouth. It's all white. It's all white.
I'm going to ask everybody to go ahead and mute yourself so we can hear, everyone can get questions answered. Anyway, so I put the graphic together. You've received acceptance into CSArts, congratulations. And there's two other steps you need to think about for right now. One is the permit process. The permit process really is only for those students, those families who do not currently live in Duarte Unified School District boundaries, or if you don't work in Duarte. That's families who are coming from living in another district. They have to go to their home district to get an inter-district permit. It is required for us to enroll your student. Now, keep in mind, if your student is currently enrolled in the school outside of your school district, such as a private school, or you're going to charter school, or you've never even gone to your school, the school in your district residence, an inter-district permit is still required to attend DUSD. That's education code, that's required. So if you live, say, in Los Angeles, or you live in Buena Park, and maybe you've never even gone to the schools there, you still need to get an inter-district permit in order for your child to be enrolled in another public school in the state of California. That's just the way it works. So we're going to talk a little bit about that process. So that's one of the things that you need to think about. And the other thing is there's an online enrollment in DUSD, and there's the link there. And all of this is in that checklist that you received in your acceptance process. And if you're interested in knowing where all the information is, it's on our website under student services, under admissions, enrollments, and permits. So those are kind of the two things that you need to be thinking about right now. One thing to keep in mind with regards to permits is that some districts, it's really up to that district as to when they're going to open up their permit window. I'm going to open up right now and ask, I'm scrolling to see if my colleague, Ms. Nayla Hoffman, is here. I just spoke to her a few minutes ago. She was going to jump on, and she's the one who really, her office is the one that processes these permits. You should just contact the current district where you live and ask them about getting an inter-district permit. The one thing to keep in mind is every school district has their own window in which they open those permits. And we understand that, but find out when that happens. It may not happen until April. We know this, we are aware of this, but you'll just need to find when they open that process, and you'll need to apply for an inter-district permit from that other district. Once you've been through submitted your permit per our the checklist that we've sent you, and once you have that all approved, you will also have to have applied online to the Duarte Unified application. At that point, the school, either Royal Oaks or Maxwell, will contact you about your next steps. These are the two things that need to happen right now. Although do be aware that, and we're aware of this, that some other school districts don't even have their permit process open right now. That's okay. Don't worry. We understand. We just want to make sure that you know that is part of the steps that you need to go through before we can actually register you in the school. And then we have just a recap of some due dates and activities, certain things. This is just, once again, a repeat of everything we've kind of already gone over in that checklist as well. The Aries online enrollment window is already open. I told you need to go ahead and complete that. That's one of the first steps you have to do. There are other documents that will be requested from the school once your everything is all set, and you will be contacted about what else you need. And then there's two options to attend a CSArts SGV annual parent meeting. You'll see there May 6th or May 20th. And then over the course of the spring and the summer, as your permits are approved and your online enrollment is complete, you will receive a welcome message from Maxwell or Royal Oaks, depending on what school, what conservatory you're assigned to, about registration for classes and other orientation activities. And then coming in August, there's some online registration for new. You'll be receiving some communication from CSArts, as well as about activities August 12th. And then our first day of instruction for academics and your conservatory is August 14th. That's a lot. This is just sort of a quick recap of what's in our checklist. And what I'm doing is stop sharing for right now. And I'm going to go back through the chat here. And I know Miss Othman is on because she responded to. Go back in.
And Dr. Hillman, I'll step in for just 1 second and say that there is also a new student, both for Royal Oaks and Maxwell, a new middle school welcome event that just got scheduled today. I'll send out an invitation to everyone this week, but it's on Saturday, April 27th from 3 to 5. And that's going to be on the CSArts campus. That will be just a chance to connect with other parents and to have your children meet other children that are also in the same conservatory as well.
That's great. Nayla, can you jump on? It says there's a question from Ms. Howe. What if we currently live in district, but we'll be moving out of district during the summer?
Sure, the answer is in the chat box. I don't mind saying that. If you currently live in the district, but you're moving out for the 24-25 school year, you're going to need an inter-district permit for the 24-25 school year. Okay, so at any time throughout in that 2024-25 school year, if you don't reside in Duarte, you will need to get a permit from your district. And Azusa Unified, that's right, they do it late. Sometimes they do it. Azusa used to do it between you and I during the summer, and it was their principal, so it was a nightmare. But we're patient with that. We understand if that is one, if your district does have it really, really late in the summer, just email us and I'll walk you through the provisional. So I am aware of some schools. Monrovia, it's open now, for example, but every district is different. You typically need to obtain a permit from your district. If you move out of the district, out of Duarte, you will need to obtain, yes. Is there a deadline by getting the permit? I had answered, legally it's before the first day of instruction, but remember, you want to register, get the immunization into the school, you want to get the class schedule for your students, so it's not to your benefit to wait until the first day of instruction. Okay. Any other questions? Can we sign up in areas? You can sign into, you can register the pre-enrollment, so it's like a pre-registration. It'll be in a holding bin. So you technically your student won't be active in areas until we've received the permit and all the required documents. And then the school will activate your student's account. But yes, you can, but just know that it's a pre-registration, not that your student's enrolled. Is August 7th?
Oh, that's for Dr. Cook. Is August 7th student orientation mandatory, Dr. Cook? There's a trip planned. You're on mute, sir.
I'm sorry, say that again.
There was a question in the chat. Is the August 7th student orientation mandatory to attend? Was planning the trip during that time?
It is not. It's recommended, but any questions that you have about the start of school could be answered personally by me or by someone else on staff as well too. It's a general information session for middle school students.
Thank you.
And the next question is great. I get that a lot. What if I live in Duarte, but my child has never attended Duarte Unified? Do I still need to fill out? And just a correction, the intra-district, so because the schools we have intra is a permit within a school district. So you do not want to apply for the intra. And I've had parents who applied for the intra and submitted it. I'm like, oh no, wrong form. So be sure that it's inter. I know this terminology is like, you're not used to it. I get it. Took me a bit. But remember, it's inter, not intra. So you want to apply for the inter-district application. And what's the, do I need to, oh, this is how you live here. Oh, that was a side note. I misunderstood the question. If you live here and your school of residence is not the school that your child will be attending, the school of attendance, Yes, you need an intro. So email us the student services, and we will open the intro window for you.
So, so recapping for people on the call, inter is for if you live outside of Duarte.
Yes,
Intra, if you happen to live in Duarte.
correct. Yeah. And you do need an intra if you're not going to be attending your school of residence. And we have School Finder on our website. Just click and put your address and tells you what school you belong to if you live in Duarte. As long as you live in Duarte.
There's a question. My school district is asking for a paper or brochure about the school. We can send if you send myself or Dr. Cook an email, we can probably send something to you if you need a flyer. We have, I mean, the things that we distribute at the preview day should help.
Or our website, you can download the brochure from our website if we have it on our website.
If we're attending a school outside of our district and have already permitted out of home district, do we need to get a release from current district and home district? So you're currently going to another, you have to have a permit that's releasing you from your home district to Duarte.
It has to be, so on the permit, it cites what district you were released to. Some
Yeah.
so specific that will.
That's why I was surprised. I'm like, you're gonna have me call? This is your thing.
Sorry?
No.
All right. Hello? Hang on, let me. Got it, okay. Is there can you explain any reasons why we would not be granted a permit? There is law around that, so you want to explain that, Ms. Lawson?
Right, so, for example, if the student's under an expulsion order, or if there's significant, disciplinary issues, they're really big ticket items that the law, gives us provision to deny. Or, for example, if our program's impacted, if there's a specific program, that is impacted that we can't accommodate, that may be a reason.
The next one was a high school question. Mr. Willoughby saying it's a little bit hard to hear. We'll do a better job of getting close to the mic. You can go ahead and sign up for Aries. That's okay. If you have a current CSR student, I'll need to get a permit for any new child. Even if you have a child who's already in CSRs, you still, each child is separate. Parent on the call gives this good comment. Don't stress too much about the permits. Pasadena makes it easy. They didn't used to. I just took a brochure about the school and the program, and that was enough. And once you have it, you don't have to renew it. Difficult to hear.
Just so you know, so you're empowered with the law, the moment your school of residence issues an inter-district permit, and you're currently attending the school the district that you were released for, the law says that there are no renews. You don't renew the permit. The permit is a good standing for the remainder of your student's educational career at that school. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you don't have to do it annually. You're not supposed to do it annually. So I've had to call out a few school districts. I'm like, you're illegal. Cannot do it annually. Now they can. There is a gray area in the provision of the law where they're allowed to ask it when the students are matriculating from elementary to middle to high school. This is, we're doing middle school. Not matriculating.
Nayla, I think you're gonna need to move closer to your microphone.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, thank you. Hold on.
I saw something in here about wanting the slide deck, and I am putting it in the chat. You want the slide deck? Okay, let me go back up here. Where I can't hear you. Just confirming because I couldn't hear. We only need the permit from home district, even though we're not attending. That is correct. I'm seeing some have already been. Can you please go through the proper order of steps to take one? On one form, it says step one is the inter-district permit, but I think someone said we do Aries. Really, those two things, they're both the same step, right? We say one or two, but it is the two steps. So you need to do the process, permit process, and Aries. You can do them at the same time. It's not a particular order. our new campus. Ms. Huerta, I'm not sure what comment that refers to. On the permit, do we put the middle or CSArts? You would put the, Nayla, there's a question. On the permit, do we put the name of the middle? Or
Yes,
CSArts?
you're gonna put, you're on the permit. I hope you can hear me. I tried to switch.
That's better. That's
Is that
better.
better? Sorry
Yeah.
about that. I'm sorry. Okay, yay. On the permit, you want to put Duarte Unified School District. You're being released to Duarte Unified. Because we're primary. But you do want to cite educational program CSR. That's what you do want to cite that, okay? As for reason.
Talking about a student a little nervous about starting a new middle school and their orientation about incoming students. There is an event coming up. It looks like Dr. Cook, you want to speak to that?
Yep, I just replied. It's on Saturday, April 27th from 3 to 5, and then there will be 2 additional dates during the summer that are campus specific. So Maxwell students will be invited to 2 and Royal Oaks to 2 for our social events for parents and students to meet.
Great. And part of the reason I'm reading the questions is because we're recording this, by the way, just for anybody else who wants to read it, hear it later. Have you ever had any, this is for Nayla, any districts deny the permit? I'm moving from out of the area. I'm not exactly sure where we'll end yet, probably Arcadia or Sierra Madre, if you have any experiences with those districts.
I've been doing this since 2016, so I have to say that Pasadena was my #1 school district that denies, but now they're on board. They're on board. Years of we're on board now. So a very few districts do deny. I did have recently LA Unified School District did deny, but they went to LACO and they won. So let me comfort you. Since 2016 to 2024, every single case that even if they were denied, they won. We won. Let's put it that way. And it's rare, very rare that they deny now because CSArts and DOSD's joint program is so well known and renowned that the school districts are very familiar with what we offer. And it's as secret as the way you apply, what you're adding to your application, add your acceptance letter, add the brochure. Don't be vague. It's very, very important because the eyes of the law educational program, I'm not telling you what to write because that's illegal, but I am going to give you legal advice that in the eyes of the law, educational program that your school district does not offer, you have the right to attain that at another school district, not a class. You can't put, I have students who are trying to release from here or wherever. If they put Spanish, negative. You can't do that. You can't put after school program. These are things that you cannot put to be released. After school program, language, extracurricular, sports is against the law. You have CSArts, you're good. Okay. But make sure you cite that.
A new permit from, looking at the comment from Ms. Huerta, Crystal Huerta says a new permit, I think it's connected to a new permit from Royal Oaks to CSArts campus. Will that require another permit? I'm not sure where you currently are, Ms. Huerta. I'm gonna come back to that. Forgive me, because I'm getting buried in questions here. So we'll come back to Ms. Huerta's comment. For my student attending Royal Oaks, will she attend classes with only CSArts students, or will CSArts students be blended with Royal Oaks students? They're All together, as Dr. Cook in the answer. Classes are blended during the academic day, but once the afternoon arts classes, then they're only with their conservatory students. Mr. Tong says, if the child has been living abroad and studying in a private school, how do we obtain an entry permit that satisfies the Duarte USD requirements? If you, assuming you're living now in the United States, you would go to the district where your residence is. Ms. Marissa says, we are out of district now and moving to another out of location in June. Which district do we permit from? Nayla, do you have they're moving from one district to another out of district.
You will apply from, I would not, if you know you're moving, don't apply at the current district of residence that you're at. Don't do double the work. Apply, what you can provide is a lease, a mortgage, whatever you have, the proof that this will be your new residence, and apply for from that school of that district of residence, from the new one.
There's a question here, Nayla, for our home district, they require us to get an inter-district permit from the desired district before we can apply for a release. That's just backwards. What's your recommendation there? Because
No,
that's not
that's actually outside the parameters of the law. We cannot release you because you do not attend our schools. So let them give me a call.
Yeah, and if Ms. Huerta is saying, if you apply for the program, this is what Nayla said, that it's not offered at your home district, you can fight the denial and get the decision changed, because this is a very unique special program that nobody else has.
Right. So you file what's called an appeal. Again, these are really rare. I don't want you worried. They're really, really rare cases. Once you put your, CSArts letter of acceptance, you put in the brochure of the program, and you put in a flyer from, if it's Royal Oaks or Maxwell, you're not going to have a problem. I mean, I'll be shocked if you do. But if you do, you are empowered. Like I said, you might have not heard me because it was muffled or whatnot. You are empowered to have what's called an appeal, right? So you can appeal the decision. And every appeal they've won. Our parents have won.
800 students over the last several years who've
Yeah.
gone through this. Over 800 now. So, do you guys have any experience getting permits from Azusa?
The only experience I have is that the principals used to do it, and it was not until the summer. So I saw someone that messages that they moved it earlier, which is fabulous. I'll be honest with you, I don't keep track of the districts because I keep track of my own district, and there's thousands and thousands of A unified school districts to keep track of. But that's something that you could look up. But I haven't had problems. I really haven't. Or I should say our families haven't had problems. Usually when they have a problem, they call me. Your problem becomes my problem. So we haven't had problems.
CSArts parent meeting, there's one May 6th or May 20th. You only need to attend one meeting. A parent is saying they get an error message about residents outside of Duarte boundaries. Click here to submit the following documents. We'll have to take a look at that. We'll take a look at the chat, see what that's going on.
Yeah, because there a message because you're applying for in district, the address, there's a code that you have to put in, which is 099 if I'm not mistaken, for out of district residents. So the way that person you're applying is that you actually live here. So it's showing error because that address is not showing up in our street table. So if I'm not mistaken, it should be 099 or 99, but message student services, and we can tell you exactly the code is.
Mr. Kelly says, where exactly do we usually find the inter-district forms at school districts?
Websites.
Their website, usually they have
websites. We've become digital after COVID. Everything is it should be quick and easy digital. And there's some schools that are archaic. They still have hard copies, but they are mandated by law to put this information on our websites. I must put this information on for my families on our websites. Same thing with every other school district. So it's so much easier if you just go on there and then instead of having to wait for somebody to answer the phone.
And there's a question about bell schedules, about pickup times. Our schools are starting. We have them on the website. I'll tell you in just a minute. I'm multitasking, but I will tell you, as Dr. Cook said, the dismissal time Monday through Thursday will be 4:30, but there are no arts classes on Friday, so the students are released closer to 3 o'clock, a little bit earlier. Pasadena has an arts program. It's not been a problem, even with Elliott.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Program is a very unique program.
But it's not the same. We already went through all that process, and it came out that that CSArts is not the same. There's nothing that compares to CSArts program. Nothing, except for OSHA.
That's right. For those of us moving to Duarte for the first time and trying to register the district for the new student, what is the approximate latest you can open for application and get the process done? You're moving to Duarte, you can register anytime once you've moved, right, Nayla?
It should be open for you can register anytime. Remember, it's just a pre-registration. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's some fine classes available at Royal Oaks. You'll be getting some information from the schools once you get through the registration process in terms of what classes are available. We do have advanced math classes at both campuses. And then you can check with the principal about what will be available, but we will have that. We understand that our families come in with a lot of different experiences, especially with related to math, excuse me. So we will be, we offer that. And I will repost the slide deck for the person who came on late. I'm gonna pop it in the chat right now again. Hopefully this is the right one. Oopsie. How many students per class and how many class will sixth grade have? It depends on where you go. We're at Royal Oaks. Dr. Tamanaha, the question says for Royal Oaks, how many students per class for sixth grade and how many classes will sixth grade have?
For sixth grade, the max is at 32, and it's around an average of 28 to 30 right now.
Do siblings get priority for enrollment in the future? Nayla?
Is this for enrollment for CSArts or enrollment to DUSD?
I'm not sure, but we can answer both of those questions separately. Dr.
For
Cook?
Duarte Unified, our board policy does bump up, prioritize a sibling for Duarte Unified.
Dr. Cook?
I'm sorry, ask that question one more time. I was typing a response. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you for doing that. Does sibling get priority enrollment in the future? We're not sure if that's for CSArts.
I don't know that yet for the future. We're currently revising our charter right now, but right now we don't have any limitations or concerns about accepting siblings. We have space, so.
We submitted residence documentation part of this admission to CSArts. However, during acceptance process, it still says that documentation is pending. We're currently enrolled with Royal Oaks and accepted for creative writing. Do we still need to add anything extra? I'm not sure. Can you see the Nayla, the question under?
I do. I just need a little more. I need some clarification. Can you clarify if you can unmute your mic so I can answer your question with precision?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so we already uploaded our residency paperwork as part of submission to CSArts, but when we went for the accepting the letter on your portal, it still says residency documentation pending.
So we're two separate, even though we're together. Our registration, so you're going to, in Aries is for DUSD, so you will have to do that again for Duarte Unified, yes, because we need proof of residence in order to enroll as a resident. So once we get that proof, you don't have to apply for a permit. If there's no proof that you don't reside in Duarte, then you need a permit. So you will need to resubmit for Aries.
We're already in Royal Oaks actually, and we already have an Aries profile. So do we need to do anything extra?
I'm sorry, say that to me one more time.
We are already in Royal Oaks and already have an Aries profile for the kid.
Oh, you're attending a DUSD school. You're attending Royal Oaks, you're a student,
Yeah.
correct? Oh,
Correct.
you're fine. You're good. You're just gonna do the data confirmation towards the end of the school year, and that's just confirming all your information. You're fine.
Oh, okay. So we should just ignore that error that we got when
You don't have to, you don't re-register. You're already in the system.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Question, Dr. Tamanaha, does Royal Oaks have advanced band as an elective?
Yes, we do. And Dr. Herman, I'm trying to answer all the questions on the chat too. So I also put on the chat box that if you go to our website, all of our courses and course descriptions are available on our website, including higher level maths and all the electives offered. So parents, if you go to our website, all our electives are described and listed there as well. But yes, we do.
Thank you for my team answering all these questions. I'm a little slower than you are. So Maxwell, question about Maxwell have extracurricular activities like sports and band, and I gotta see if Dr. Lawson, are you on the call, Dr. Lawson? Okay. They also have extracurricular activities. They have band as an elective. Actually, I can say for Maxwell, because of the IB program, they have very specific requirements on what the students need to take. And one of the things that they need to take is a visual performing arts, and band applies for that. As far as their extracurriculars, your child will be very, very busy for any after school activities. So you won't be available to take after school activities, participate in after school activities. However, both schools, Maxwell and Royal Oaks, have middle school activities at lunchtime. They have clubs, they do other types of activities, but predominantly at lunchtime for precisely this reason. You really won't have time to do anything after school. We don't have before school care, and after school care. Our program that we have for after school is for all the students who are released earlier, so there's no after school care provided. It's a long day. And there's some math questions as well. We'll have to talk about those specifically with your students and take a look at, in terms of what math class they'd be placed into. Once you're actually registered and all registered and done, the school site and the counselors will go through your transcript, go through assessments, and see what will be the best placement for mathematics. Answering the question about the after-school opportunity, extracurricular, the clubs mostly really meet during the middle of the school day, so that's a good thing for our middle school. There are students who are, I don't understand, inside of Royal Oaks, their kids are not enrolled in CSArts program. Yes, there are students at Royal Oaks who are not in the CSArts program. They're all mixed together. And somebody's asking for the slide deck again. And I think that's when I put it in there in the chat now, the link to the slide deck.
And Dr. Owen, I think we have a question from Catherine Kang.
Let me see if I can find it. Forgive me, folks.
Hi, is it okay if I hop on the mic?
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. My son got accepted to the CSArts program for 6th grade, the Fine and Media Arts at Royal Oaks, but I also applied his younger brother, a 5th grader, who's not in the CSArts program, who's not a Duarte. He doesn't attend any Duarte schools, but we live in Duarte. And I applied for an intra-district transfer because our school of residence is Beardsley. And so when would we find out if he got accepted into Royal Oaks? Because I would like them to go to school together. And what is the probability of him being accepted into Royal Oaks? Because the older sibling is going to be in the CSArts 6th grade or 7th grade program.
So the intra-district window closed February 28th. And so now I'm literally in the process of processing them. We do prioritize siblings and employees, so, you know, Allen bills and whatnot. So I'm literally in the middle of them. So I'm hoping, because, you know, it's district-wide, I'm hoping, and I don't want to quote, we have spring break April for sure, by April. You will know by April for sure.
Oh, great. So then I would have to put him into an after-school care program, the younger sibling. Would I be able to apply in time for the after-school program by April?
Not the after school. We don't have. We have time for that.
Or yeah, for the sibling, for the younger sibling, there's time.
Yeah, there's time for that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, just me.
Questions. Oh, great questions. I appreciate you asking. Great questions. And thank you for unmuting.
I'm looking for questions that haven't been answered. Is there an option for Spanish immersion? No, I'm sorry. The Spanish immersion is not available. Although both schools offer Spanish as an elective class, but it's not Spanish immersion. Question about van pool pickup points. I'm assuming that is release at the end of the day. You'll get information from the school as to where to pick up the students. Students receive, okay, I got that. Is the school open, after school care available on Fridays with earlier release? There is not after school care. What's the process for enrollment honor classes at Royal Oaks for students currently in honors classes? That is a question that will be addressed with, we do have honors classes available, and so they'll be part of the registration progress. Parent meeting. How does Southern work with kids who belongs to CSArts? How does the system work? I'm not sure I understand the question. Esteban, I don't understand the question. Maybe you could open up your mic.
Yes, thank you. I'm just like wondering how is that if not the whole kids that attend to Royal Oaks belongs to the Conservatory CSArts program.
Correct.
How does the kids that belong to the program stay in the same classroom and work together also the regular classes, or they are in separated groups? I'm just wondering, how does that work?
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, during the academic classes, the kids are all mixed. They're all Royal Oaks kids. And then with the conservatory classes are only for the students who are enrolled in CSArts. So they are mixed, but they're all the people in the same conservatory. They'll be all attending the same school. So they may have some classes with kids and some not. They all become one community. I think we came to the end of go ahead, ma'am.
Sorry. They will become a community then until they get inside of CSArts campus. So
Once they go to ninth grade,
yes.
once they have completed middle school, students in ninth grade and through 9th through 12th grade in CSArts are completely separate. That's a standalone independent charter school.
For the after school conservatory, hi there, sorry to jump in. For the after school conservatory at Maxwell and the kids that are staying after for a couple of hours, when do we find out what they're actually going to be studying during their conservatory? And do they get to choose? Is it like electives that they get to pick and choose, or when will we find out what their study will be?
You'll get a schedule from them for them about 2 to 3 weeks prior to classes starting. And they do not get to choose their classes. They're prescribed for them. It's a sequenced course of study designed for the middle school. And we schedule them on our end, and then we send you, you'll notice it actually on your child's schedule in Aries, because it actually appears on their Aries schedule as well.
Okay, so when we were at the preview day, I know they mentioned something about electives. Is that really more once they get to high school?
Initially, I think there are electives in the middle school program, and I know that Dr. Tamanaha or Dr. Hillman could talk about that, but they have the opportunity to take electives as part of their academic day in the middle school program.
Okay.
During their academic day, students in both schools, all of our middle school students take math, English, history, science, physical education, and then one elective. That is, I will tell you that it's a little bit different at the IB school, because their elective is combined with their international baccalaureate middle years program, so that they have a design class as well as visual performing arts and a world language. So it's they don't have a full, like they'll go through a wheel a little bit, but that's more because they're aligned with the IB program.
Okay. And as far as like the performances go, are there any performances that the 6th graders will get to do in their conservatory? My daughter's going to be in the theater conservatory.
Yes, absolutely. Both in the fall and the spring semester.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I put up again on the screen for everybody's just our contact information. If you need to reach out, if maybe your question wasn't sort of answered and complete, or if you need more clarification, I want to make sure that was there for reaching out as we kind of get things wrapped up here. Dr. Cook, can students switch conservatories during their time at CSArts? I see.
Justified.
And then how many 6th graders will there be for each concentration? Do we have for creative writing, for instance, at this point, do we have a number?
I do not have that yet. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Well, and to be quite fair, we're still in the process of solidifying all the acceptances, right? So that has to do with it.
Yeah, applications just closed today. So
Dr. Tamanaha, how early can students be dropped off at Royal Oaks in the morning?
8 o'clock.
And then there's a question about a student with an IEP. Make sure that gets submitted. If you're applying for a permit, that needs to be submitted with the permit process. And then our director of special education, Dr. Margaret Akinusi, will be taking care of looking at our new students with disabilities to make sure that their needs, their services can be provided. And there is no after-school care for our conservatory students. We have after-school care that starts through Think Together, that starts directly after school ends. But that is, our conservatory students can't enroll in that because they are busy until 4:30 every day.
I added the email address. So we have an email address specifically for permits and especially for our CSArts families and families that don't live in Duarte. This way you're not in my million emails. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's make sure I use this one. Let me see, I can even real quickly.
So I was on mute. I don't think you heard me. So I put in the chat, the emails, all questions related to permits, questions related to enrollment, new student registration, all that kind of stuff. You want to email IDT permits. That's IDT permit at duarteusd.org. That is where you want to send those questions. Otherwise, I'll be honest with you, at my personal email, there'll be a million emails. This one is dedicated and created so you can get an immediate and quicker response.
Put that really quickly. I'm going to put that in this. I'll get into that. I was going to put it on the screen. Okay. I see that Dr. Cook is answering some specific questions about dates that we've already talked about.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
I will be driving from Montebello, the Montebello area. And my question was about the van pool. Do you guys have any pickup points where it would be easier to carpool with other families, or is there something like that could come up to make it easier for the commute?
At the very beginning, during and I actually think we are close to sending it out in a few weeks. We were just piloting it last week. We are starting a new transportation kind of connection service for our parents, where you can opt in to have your information shared with other parents. And it is a large Google map, and it shows your location, and then little dots that surround your home address. And all of those are, each little dot is a CSArts family. And you can click on the dot, and if they've opted in to share their information, it will show the conservatory that the child is enrolled in addition to a preferred method of contact, either email or phone. That's usually the best way to reach out to other parents to set up carpooling situations. Also, we have a parent Facebook page as well too, and you'll frequently see posts for parents saying, I live in Montebello and my schedule is this. Is anyone in this area that's interested in carpooling? So I encourage you to do that as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I got a question from, do I need to create a new account on Aries DUSD even though I have an account in my current district? Yes, Aries is this product used by many districts. You must create one for Duarte Unified. How will middle schools be reaching out to us about registration classes? By email, phone, mail, phone, call? Do I need to check Aries portal to find for anything before school starts? Dr. Tamanaha, I know the answer to this, but do you want to answer this one? Because it's consistent with what they're doing over at Maxwell.
Dr. Hillman, you can answer for both schools.
Sure. Once you have completed the registration process, you will get a welcome email from the school about next steps. And it's typically by email. And then once you're in the school district, once you're start up and running, you will be able to join Parent Square, another way that you can connect with the schools. But you will get an email with reaching out to you once you completed those first two steps. The permit process really is what will generate, along with the Aries, will let the school know that you're all the way in, and we can start registration.
And then later in the summer, you'll be populated into your arts classes. Those will come a couple of weeks before classes start. And
for registration for us too as well, your child will get their schedule right before school starts, and a couple of weeks before school starts, there will be an orientation day. You'll come and you'll get your books and you'll get your schedule and all those things.
There's a question here about, I can't speak about homework in terms of the academic classes. There is not time to do homework during the conservatory classes, but the students do have a short break in between their academic day and it varies between either 20 and 30 minutes, depending on the day, between their academic day and the start of conservatory classes. So some students do homework during that time. I did mention in the chat earlier regarding conservatory homework, there is very little, if any, that's assigned for the conservatory classes.
In terms of middle, it's a middle school, they still have to do their academics and whatever homework, they are assigned homework from the teachers. Our students they work through the balance of making sure that they can get their homework done, and a lot of things they can do at school, but it really depends on the class.
Are the teachers sort of understanding about the kids who are in the conservatory program? Are they getting like overloaded, or like what is the? I'm just worried that you won't be able to keep up.
Understood. And we have seen this over the years, and our teachers are used to the fact that they have students who are in both conservatory, and then the students who are not in conservatory, they are also exceptionally busy with sports and other activities as well. So they're middle school teachers, and they know that, and they try to make the best, balance it out for the students as best they can. But the conservatory, they're all the same students, certainly are busy with other commitments. There's no due date for the interdistrict due date. Just you have to reach out to the other district and find out what their window is. It's really on the other district. We can't tell them when you have to have the permit in, but we know that every district's a little bit different like that. And the deadline is as soon as you can get it in, but we can't register. We cannot officially register you until we have that permit, if in fact you need a permit. High school students, if you are here because you have a high school student for CSArts, you do not need a permit. So I'm really only talking to middle school families right now, grades 9 through 12. Getting lots of good answers. What time does school start and end at Royal Oaks? The school start is, I know Dr. Autamina is driving. I have to remember real quickly, 8.
I'm here. We start at 8:35 and we end at 2:57 on a normal day.
A normal day is 2:50, just about 3 o'clock, but then they're in conservatory Monday through Thursday until 4:30. I think we're answered all the questions. We're going to start wrapping it up here because I know we've got lots of other things going on, and also questions coming in. We will keep this recording and make sure that this is saved. Will Royal Oaks have an orientation on site? Yeah, there will be orientation. It will be in the summer. You'll hear about that. It won't be before the end of the day. Sorry, lots of thank yous. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We know there's lots and lots of questions in your mind. I do see one hand. Wei Lee, if you raised your hand, did you?
Yes, so it's a follow-up question. Previous asked if a student can take a Math 2, and the answer is that yes, they can take Math 2, but that will be offered at Royal Oak, or they need to go to high school?
We are going to be readjusting our staff and looking at how we can provide that with the students who need to get into Math 2.
So they were taking Math 2 from middle school campus?
At this point, I don't have it, and it's going to depend on our enrollment in Math 2.
Oh, I see. But that happened in the past, or maybe that's something new?
This year we have students taking Math 2 at Duarte High School.
Oh, but how can they running between two schools?
We transport them. That's what we're doing this year.
Just for math class?
That was just for the math class.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It depends on every year. It depends on the numbers. It really depends on whether we have enough students for the class.
Okay, thanks.
Can I ask a quick question about the permit? It said something about getting a copy of the permit application. So even though we may not get the permit acceptance or completed yet, to provide the permit application that we filled that out went on the Aries and upload that to Aries. Is that correct? Am I understanding that right?
Nayla, can you answer that question? Sorry, I know you're typing answers at the same time. I can see your face.
For me?
Yes, the question is can you submit an Aries, a permit application?
It said something on Aries, it says something about submitting, or even in the paperwork that you provided, it said something about to upload the permit application as soon as possible.
Right, so there's a link there that you're gonna through Inform K-12 is where it's in admissions. You're gonna the admit. Hopefully the links all work. We tried them all, but you should submit not in Aries. The permit goes through Inform K-12,
Okay.
so it's not through Aries. No, Aries is just registration. That's all Aries is. But the whole permit process is through the Inform K-12 link on the checklist.
Okay, because it seemed like we couldn't even sign up for the Inform K-12 that couldn't
You
sign up.
don't. Okay, so you're not signing up for Inform K-12. It's the admissions paperwork. So you're going to fill out an admissions form. You're going to upload your permit, discipline record, and then press submit.
Okay, all right, thanks.
And that once again, that email, that oh, you know what? I'm realizing direct messaging. I want to put this in for everyone. I wanted to do IDT permits. Is that the Naila IDT permits at the USD? I'm putting
I can't hear. Say it again.
I'm putting in the chat.
IDT, yes, IDT permits, yes, IDT permit, yes. But that's not where you submit permits. Permits not be submitted. Those are just for questions. All permits will not be looked at if you submit through IDT, because you legally have to submit them through Form K-12. That's the database that's going to be housing all your permits, your discipline record. If there's an IEP, for example, discipline record, that will all go through Inform K-12, which is on the checklist. Aries is just registration for the school. Inform K-12 is the permit for district.
Somebody asked, is lunch provided? Yes, all students are provided free lunch. When do we apply for introductory permit? As soon as possible. You go to your home district. And then I think you answered the question about Inform K-12. That is kind of where you'll receive.
It's on the checklist, but you can also go to our school website. If you go district website, go to student services, click, and it'll take you directly there. I want you to be able to go back to it. So you know, like if you don't, if we put it here, then a lot of times it just gets lost in the chat. So just go to the Duarte Unified School District website, student services, and you'll see it there for new students.
I'll hop on them really quick. I just typed my question in the chat earlier in the meeting, but I'm still a little confused.
Okay.
My kids go to, we live in Duarte, but my kids go to Temple City Unified. But his residence is Beardsley. Do I need to apply for the intra-district transfer? I'm sorry, I completely forgot your answer.
Do you need to apply? Yes, because you're not going to be attending your school of residence. That is correct.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, don't be. You're fine. You're good. It's confusing. So ask away. That's why we're here. Ask, and ask.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course.
Question.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You know what? You go ahead with the I think they're all the questions are getting answered in the chat. This is great. Go ahead.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I know conservatory get over the 4:30. So what is the grace time we have to pick up the kids?
We didn't have supervision after 4:30, so we want the students picked up.
So 4:30 is the time.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're getting down to just a few people here. I'm going to call on the people who have hands raised. Janine?
Yes, so does that answer the question if there's before or after school care?
There's no before school care, and there really isn't for after school because the students can consider going until 4:30, 4 days a week.
Okay, thank you.
And
can we register kids in the Think program and they can transfer from conservative to Think?
Think together, you have to be enrolled for the whole time. Think together because of the grant is required. They're required to be there for the whole time, starting directly after school.
Thank you.
And I think we've answered all the questions. I'm just going to let you at this point. I think there's just a few folks left on the call. Mr. Tong, did you have any questions? Good. Ms. Janine, are we good? I'm gonna conclude.
I have a question. Sorry, I'm on the Duarte website. I still can't find, because my school district said, oh, we'll submit your permit for you. But I saw in there that I am also supposed to submit a copy of it. But I just seem to get in circles trying to get on this Inform K-12, which I can't find any language that says that on the Duarte School District.
You have the checklist in front of you by any chance? But I can walk you through the student service. I don't want to hold everyone up. If you go to student services on the website and you go to admissions, enrollment, then it's non-Duarte resident permit application. Click the third one. And then you're the CSArts admission application form. That's what you are. That's the one that applies to you. And then
circle from there.
Yeah, and then go to oh, it is she did embed it. We should move it up. Let me move it up where it's closer and everyone can just see it the first thing. Yeah, we'll move it up where it's closer. Maxwell, that's Maxwell. Let's see. Oh, I know why. I'm silly. You know why? Because the window hasn't opened. That's why it will be there. Oh, my correction. Sorry. The window hasn't opened because we cannot accept new students right at this moment until we finish the intros, we place the intros, and then we can open them. So that's why it's not open yet. The link is not there. So you're correct. It's not on there. You're
Okay.
correct.
Hold on to it.
You're right. You're right.
And submit it later. Okay, got it.
Thank you. Yes. So we legally cannot admit, because if you admit, you also have to release, but we have to process interest first legally before all of the admissions and releases. So my apologies.
No worries. Thank you so much.
But I promise it's going to be right there. Right when you click that third one, it's going to be CSArts, and then it takes you straight to Inform K-12. I promise.
I have a question. I was quite late joining the meeting. I noticed it's being recorded. Will the recording be emailed out, or will it be a way to hear the recording?
We'll definitely get that out. We'll figure out where the best place to get it out will be. I'm going to put right now, just for your own, really most of what we talked about was in the checklist that you were sent. And then now I put the slide deck that I used today, which is very brief, but it was really kind of the checklist. And then we can talk about amongst ourselves how we can get the recording out and we can get it posted too.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You just reach out to us too. We can help you. Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, Mr. Tong, did you?
Yeah, hi. I have a question. Sorry, we don't currently live in the States right now. We're abroad. Is the permit application open during the summer?
Yes.
As well? Oh, okay. So as soon as we got a place and get the lease, and we can go register. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
Let's see.
Dr. Hillman, I have to leave, but I did put my email address in the chat as well for any conservatory related questions.
Yep. We have it on the slide deck as well. I know we're getting to the point now. We have another meeting starting shortly, so I want to sign off here. And I will stay on for a minute or two until the last few people leave. But thank you to Dr. Endelman, who's here. Dr. Cook, thank you. Nayla, Dr. Tominaha is driving. And I will stay on for a little bit. Miss Marissa, can I answer your question?
Yeah. If you have time to answer the question. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking right now. So we live in Walnut, and we're planning on moving to Pasadena over the summer. But it sounds like I can't even get the registration process started unless I have my permit. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try and get a permit through Walnut, just in case we there is a small possibility that we wouldn't move till like after August. I mean, I'm planning on moving over this summer, but if for some reason I get hung up and I'm still in Walnut over August, I don't want to like wait, but is there going to be a problem if Walnut gives me the interdistrict permit and then I wind up moving before the first day of school? Like, do I have to get another permit? And is that going to complicate things?
It won't complicate it, but if you're applying, we want to submit your permit from your current school of residence, that's fine.
And if you do, should you move, you will need a new inter-district permit from your new school of residence and you just resubmit. And that's all it takes. But you will still need a new permit from the new school of residence because you need to be released from where you reside.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Thanks for staying on.
You bet. Good luck to you. Thanks, Marissa. I think I'm gonna stop recording now.